Chapter 14. Wild Morning. The next morning came with a strange kind of silence. I noticed it right away, how the palace halls, normally echoing with the murmurs of tutors and servants preparing for the princess's lessons, were still. Her instructors were gathered in the outer chamber, glancing at the sun climbing higher in the sky, muttering among themselves. The library was still, too still. The scrolls on the obsidian table untouched, the ink well full, the quill dry. I lingered longer than usual, asking my concern in small talk with Ibrahim, who seemed just as puzzled by her absence, though too proper to show it plainly. "Perhaps she's unwell," he said. Perhaps. But then why wasn't I summoned to look her over? But I knew her by now. Zafira did not skip obligations. She faced them like she faced everything else. Head-on, defiant, flawless, composure. Her absence gnawed at me. She didn't go to lessons that day. Zafira had not arrived. It was unlike her. In the weeks I'd come to observe her daily rhythms, quietly, discreetly, I had never seen her miss a lesson. She was always there, sharp and attentive, holding court with knowledge and curiosity well beyond her years. So, when I noticed her absence, I felt it like a disruption in the very balance of the palace. I made my way through the winding sandstone corridors and into the courtyard, pretending to be on my way to collect ingredients from the herb garden. I walked under the pretense that I was under the pretense of needing to retrieve dried moonvine. But I wasn't searching for Flora this morning. They searched hard for something else, no sign of her. Not in the eastern garden, not in the map room, not in the chambers where she sometimes vanished to read alone. Something pulled at my chest, tight, sharp, wrong. Then I heard it. A sharp whinny, the clang of a saddle buckle, the royal stables. I followed the sound without hesitation, staying to the shadows. Years of sneaking through darker corridors of Hogwarts had honed my ability to move unseen, and here under sandstone arches and sun-bleached rafters I was smoke again. The stables sat at the edge of the palace grounds, a long row of arches and sun-bleached stone, the scent of hay and leather thick in the warm morning air. I remained in the shadows behind a narrow pillar, just close enough to see her. She was alone, save for him. She was already saddling her horse, a magnificent white stallion with powerful flanks and an elegant head, a war-bred beast, the kind of beast bred only for royalty, tall and muscled, with eyes like stormlight and hooves that thudded like drumbeats against the stable floor. He shifted restlessly beneath her touch, but she was calm, quick fingers strapping leather, gold rings glinting faintly on her hands as she cinched the final buckles tight. She moved with practiced ease, tugging the reins and adjusting the golden saddle straps. She dressed normally in royal silks and draped in jewels, which shocked him, her dark hair loosely braided down her back. A ribbon of gold caught in the morning light, tied at the base of her braid. He figured she would dress for the occasion, the typical riding attire. "What are you doing?" I nearly said aloud, but I held back. No guards, no servants, not even the stable master. She didn't speak. She didn't smile. She simply climbed onto the stallion's back, one fluid motion, and nudged it forward. Her eyes were far away, thoughtful, shadowed. Whatever weighed on her mind, be it the laws of yesterday's lesson or something even heavier, I did not know, but I knew enough to feel her need to escape. Zafira led the stallion from his pen with quiet command, guiding him into the sun that poured into the entrance arch of the stables. She whispered something to the horse. Then they were gone. She rode fast. A burst of motion. A flurry of sand and hooves. The white stallion surged forward, pounding out into the golden dunes, his rider low against his neck, black braid trailing behind like a banner of defiance. Gone. Into the desert. No escort, no protection, only fire and dust and a girl who was no girl at all but a storm wrapped in flesh and secrets. Out of the palace gates, down the winding path leading toward the low dunes that bordered the far edge of the city. The wind lifted her veil of hair behind her like a trailing comet. She stayed leaned low over the horse's neck, urging it on with a fierce sort of joy or desperation. I couldn't tell which. I waited until the cloud of dust faded into the distance, and then it stepped out of the shadows. I didn't follow her, not directly. I had no right to interrupt whatever she was chasing. But I watched. From the high palace balcony, I let my eyes follow the white blur of her figure as she darted across the golden sands like something wild and untouchable. For the first time, I saw her not as a princess, but as a girl trying to breathe. Her laughter reached me on the wind, faint but real, and it stirred something in me that had been buried for far too long. She had always been radiant, but this was something else. Free, fierce, untamed. This wasn't rebellion. It was release. Only later, as the sun began to sink into the dunes like a golden coin swallowed by fire, did I understand why she rode alone.